So does that justify everything that you do?
Excuse me, let me...
The maulers are here.
Oh, hey, I don't know what happened. I was on mute for some reason. But hey, what's going on, guys? We are doing some USFL talk tonight. We are ready to go. We have a really, really good guest tonight. We're gonna bring him in right away. Let's do this. Coach, what's happening?
How you doing?
How are you?
You're great.
So, yeah. So I had to do some interruption there with the introduction, but we got the video going and we're ready to roll now. So did that get you a little pumped up looking at the old time guys and then the new time guys?
Yeah, that was
look at them jerseys.
That was an awesome promo. I really like that.
Them jerseys changed a lot, huh?
Yeah, they have.
I remember being back in a kid playing t-ball, and the Maulers just got moved into Pittsburgh, and where we played t-ball, they practiced on that field.
Wow.
Over in Brookline, over there in Brookline, Pennsylvania. And so that was pretty cool. If you want to stay out there and watch them practice for a little bit, you could. They didn't kick you out or anything, but that's just something I remember from my childhood,
That's pretty cool.
Pretty neat. Got to do all that. But now we're up to 2022, 23, ready to go. We got new coaches coming in. Are you ready? Are you pumped?
Yeah, I'm ready. I leave the extra juice to the players, but I've been ready for a while. So I'm not big on talking. I'm an action guy. One thing I learned from a mentor of mine is that game day is always about the players, and I've spent pretty much the off season preparing so they can have the game day the way they want to have their game day. So, yeah, I'm ready, and we'll let all of the action take its course, and people will have a chance to see what that product looks like. But definitely ready to go.
I'm ready. I'm ready for this. But first, we're gonna let the fans know a little bit about you without doing their research and their homework because you're right here with us. Why not? So you started in Cardinal Gibbons High School, correct?
Yeah, so that was my first coaching gig straight out of college, and helped with running backs and did statistics. And we had a game where we scored 100 points on the team, and I was writing all night. My hands were killing me, but what a lesson that was. First experience.
You scored 100 points in one night?
Yeah. Yep. And
Will Chamberlain all over again, huh?
Man, spent a lot of time taking down notes, statistics, and the thing was, we weren't trying to run the score up. That's just kind of how the game played out. It was a back and forth all night. We put our second stringers in. We were still scoring. And so first experience as a coach was an interesting one, but I was going back and forth from Cardinal Gibbons to Pop Warner. That was my first coaching experience between the two. And then I transitioned over to a coordinator job at Hillside High School. And, man, the rest is history. Can you hear me?
Hey, my whole internet just crashed.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I don't know, I'm just, so I'm gonna have to do this on my phone from here on out.
All right.
So I get that's why we always have backup plans and everything else, right?
No, I got it. As long as you can hear me. I see my screen is frozen, but we're gonna make it work, I guess. What if I
Like my kitchen light started flickering, and then all of a sudden the internet just died. I heard fire engines earlier, so I wonder if someone hit a pole.
I hope not.
Yeah, me too. Me too. But it looks like everything is down around here, at least the internet.
Okay.
So yeah, here we are. We're 6 minutes in, and there's issues.
I see that. Hey, but we make adjustments, right?
Just like on game day, right?
Things happen, man. Things happen all the time.
Second half adjustments. Let's do it.
Yep.
All right. So last I heard you were talking about Pop Warner.
Yeah. So essentially, I was saying that my first two experiences, I was coaching in two different places during the same season. I was doing Pop Warner and coaching at Cardinal Gibbons High School. So my first coaching experience was Pop Warner, and in the same season, assistant running back coach and a statistician for a private school, high school program.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Were you married at the time?
I was, man, and I literally had my first child. I would say earlier that fall. No. I'm sorry. Yeah, we had our first child about a year before I started coaching. So, yep, was married, and man, it's definitely different. If you don't have support, that's a tough deal. Coaching can be hard, man. You must have support, but at the same time, you got to be flexible too. And when you're a young guy, you're learning flexibility. You're learning how to become a father and a husband. So yeah, I've been in this coaching thing for quite some time, man, and have grown into it.
Well, as of right now, I'm glad that you stuck to it, and having that moral support is definitely huge.
Yep.
So you have 4 kids, right?
No, 5. So
5
2 boys.
kids.
Yep. They're all adults now, doing well, and have 5 grandkids, man. So yep. Fortunate.
So are they going to be coming up to Canton to tour it while watch some games?
Yeah, most likely. I would say most of them will. And that'll be cool, man. It'd be cool to have them involved and sharing the experience. We had our kids come up last year to watch a game in Birmingham. So what's going to be the biggest difference this year? It's just going to be a better product.
Take your word on it.
There you go.
Taking your word on that. I mean, I feel last year we got off to a horrible start with the whole pizza thing. I thought Davion Smith was going to be a good running back for us. I did. He looked like a house. He looked huge.
Yeah,
what's that?
Everybody keeps talking about pizza. It wasn't about pizza. I
didn't think so, but that's what they ran with.
Oh yeah, they ran with it, but yeah, it's just rules, man. And things happen, but in these types of leagues, you're always going to have people tell you, hey, why, how come this guy's not in the NFL? And I'm not talking about him specifically, but man, the traits that a guy needs to play on Sundays in the fall are very specific. And in the league that we were in, we create opportunities for guys to be able to leave that league and get into that other league. And when they can't follow those specific things in the spring, they're not going to make it to the fall. And we've been fortunate. We had 11 guys sign in the NFL. And so, you know, the one thing that Curb tried to teach and really hone in on is details, rules, fundamentals. Because you're going to go into a pro camp. You better know that playbook or you're going to be out of there by the end of the week. And so that's the kind of structure that I tried to create when we signed our quarterbacks in the off season, and those guys bought in. And I think that, to me, is one of the biggest differences, is that they understand the rules and the expectations. And so now as we head into camp, there's a clear understanding of what's expected. And I feel really good about that, because it's not magic, man. It's not an all-star league where, you know, you can build rapport with a guy in a week and a half or 2 weeks and then just expect him just to go play. He's going to base everything off of his previous experiences. And that's the benefit of a college and an NFL camp. Man, you get 9, 8, 7 weeks in the off season. So by the time you get to the fall, the expectation is already in place because you've been preparing, right? And so that's the one thing I felt like we didn't really have last year, is that extra time. Well, I made that time in the off season with the guys that I'm responsible for. And that's why I said I feel better, because now that we have this extra time, the assumptions are removed. They know the rules. Those guys can literally coach the offense themselves, every quarterback.
So did you have like Zoom meetings with the guys, or did you have them come into your into your neck of the woods, or how'd you do it?
We did Zooms. I'm not going to hit anybody's pocket like that when they're not getting a paycheck yet. So no.
I wasn't sure, what you did.
No. No, I understand what you're saying. I met one of our guys because he was a local guy, but I only came out to evaluate him, just to get a feel for him. But then from that point on, it was always Zooms weekly. And I think that was very helpful, because these guys, they played ball before, right? So they understand the game, but now can they understand it in terms of how you want them to execute it? And so that's what's been great, man, about, you know, just the off season and trying to, you know, get this thing to a different level. So yeah, that's what I'm excited about, man. It feels like football because we've been spending the time to put the work in.
So, I mean, it feels like you got to be more of like a family connection.
Yes, and you have to have that. I mean, okay, if there's expectations in place and the family set the expectations, you're going to go out and execute the job. But if you don't understand, man, then that means it's just a bunch of assumptions that lay before us. And we're past that. And I know last year, and it's no one's fault, but you know, you got guys you've never been around. There's going to be a lot of assumptions because we're just trying to pull things together very quickly. And I said this on previous calls, the teams that had the most success, man, there was previous relationship. Whether the coaches knew the quarterbacks or they brought the nucleus of the offense together from the spring league or other leagues, there was relationship already. They might have had them in some of these off-season training camps that the USFL and the XFL will hold, but they spend time with guys. So that allowed them to be able to make up for a lot because they already had previous relationship.
Now, I was going to ask you about your book, but you brought up like the whole Zoom thing, and back in 2010 when you were with the Colts,
yeah.
How much did you learn from Peyton Manning, or did you teach him everything he knows?
Nope. You know, I would never say that. Man, I enjoyed that experience with Peyton Manning. I sat behind him every meeting. And the thing that baffled me then, but now as a guy that's been in the profession for a while, when I initially watched him, I just kept wondering, man, how does this guy know all of this? Like his anticipation skills and understanding what defenses were going to do, it was astounding. Well, I know why. I mean, he spent a lot of time in the league way before I came there in 2010. So his foundation was from experience. His experience taught him how to prepare for certain things. He saw those same things over and over again. It got to the point where things just looked the same. And so he knew how to handle certain situations. And so that really helped me, man. It helped me in terms of how I prepare and prepare quarterbacks. So, yeah, watching him, that was inspirational because it really helped set a foundation for just how I prepare guys weekly. So it was awesome. I really enjoyed that, and Jim Caldwell was awesome in terms as well because he would give me a lot of input on how he evaluates guys, and I've taken that information with me through today.
Just curious, did you ever get a chance to like maybe sneak Peyton Manning on one of your Zoom calls and talk to the quarterbacks?
Nah, never. Unfortunately, no.
Kind of connecting with him, or like
I don't have a way of contacting him, but you can best believe me, if I had his info, I would have long have asked him, hey man, come on, I want you to talk to my guys. And I'm quite sure that'd have been awesome. But definitely believe me, I took a lot of notes from him.
now of Chase and James and Troy and Connor, do any of them remind you a little bit of them? I'm just curious.
Man, that it's hard to say. I think that each of those guys, they all have a unique thing about them in terms of the way they study and the way they communicate. So, man, I think I can leave the rest of that evaluation to when we get on the field. But I'm definitely excited about what each guy brings in terms of what they can do. Their communication skills are awesome. And when we talk weekly, I go through different scenarios with them, and I feel good about how they respond and how they answer certain questions. So now, man, it's just a matter of getting out there between those lines and proving out everything that they've communicated. Now let's see it. Let's see the physical work. You know what I mean? Let's start developing the resume on the field.
I wasn't sure, like, if you had a chance to, like, maybe say, "Oh, don't be this guy," because you got to witness, you got to be in the same facility and learn from Mr. Manning a little bit. So I was like, I'm sure that gave you more insight to the game than what you knew going into it.
Yeah, I will learn more about who they are and how they convey themselves when I can see how they communicate in front of their teammates. That's important. How they communicate a message. Now, obviously, I'm the original communicator, but then guess what? It's almost like a relay race. I'm passing the baton. And once again, I'll go back to what I said when we started the call. Man, game day is their day. My game is during the week. It's every day up until that day. And then after that, we just make adjustments. They do everything else. So I really do. I feel good about what they're saying. Now I just need to see the action part. And I can promise you, once I see how they communicate with their teammates, yes, then we can answer the Peyton question. But I'm afraid I probably still wouldn't answer it because I don't think any player wants that burden of being compared to that guy.
I mean, yeah, I would just wonder, you had a chance to be in the room, and I was like,
too early.
That little feel that, this guy asked a lot of questions,
Yeah. And, it's weird because they all ask a lot of questions now. And, but yeah, definitely too early to call that one. But the good question, the good thing is They do ask a lot. So that means they care and they're paying attention.
You got 4 good ones, and then you guys drafted a pretty good one too. Apparently, 71 touchdowns over last year, Lindsey Scott Jr.
Yeah, man.
But we're
Busy.
not going to talk about that till they fully commit, right?
Yeah, exactly. You got to get them in the building.
That's what we talk about.
Yep.
So if how would you compare your tight ends to some of the players in the league that you coached? Like you have
Man.
Matt, you have Lynn, and you have Evans. Did you say Siebert?
Yep.
Waller? Because you had Waller on his rookie year, right? Whenever you were in.
Man, so when I was with the Raiders, I don't know if Waller wasn't a rookie. That was my first year with him. I thought he was at a previous place for a year before he came to Oakland. But
He was on the
man,
practice squad with Baltimore.
Yes,
and,
that's what it was.
And Mr. Gruden saw him warming up, and they didn't have any information on him. And after they saw him warming up, they asked Baltimore what to trade for.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the last time Harbaugh brought any of his practice players to a scrimmage game because of that, because of how good Waller turned out to be.
Yeah, listen, man, that guy's special, special player. You know, I will say that the tight ends that we do have, I feel really good about.
They're all you 6'5", 6'4", 6'4".
Yep. They and you know they all have some receiver. I haven't seen Evans as much yet. He's probably more of a put your hand in the dirt kind of guy. But the other two, you know, they proved last year that they can get up on top of you quickly down that seam, and they can take the ball right off your helmet. So they both are really good route runners. You know, we talked about some things that they can improve on in the off season. So I'm excited about seeing them and how we're going to use them. And I ain't gonna go into too many details about how we're going to use them, but you best believe me, they
give it away.
Yeah, man. I don't give away any secret recipes, but man, they're going to help us a lot. Every tight end, and you know, my hope is that we have all three come game day, week 1.
So you got Hunter Ride in the wide receiver core. Is he like his dad by chance?
Yeah, in a way, man. He's shifty, quick guy. If you're not paying attention, you're looking at the back of his jersey. I'm excited about him and what he can bring to the table, and I know he's ready to go. Another guy that I've been communicating with in the off season because he's a newer signee, and he has the book. Man, we're just ready to go, and kind of want to see, you know, what he can bring to the table. So I'm excited about him.
I was always an Andre Rison fan growing up as a kid.
Yeah.
We got Trey Walker and Bailey. How exciting is it that Coach Trey Walker?
Man, listen, Trey has a special role. Excuse me, and there's some things that I definitely want to do with Trey. Started with some of that last year, and now we're just gonna, you know, continue with it. It's exciting to have guys return that you had in year 1. I think that makes it easier. They understand the offense, and I know those guys understand the rules, and so I'm very excited about what they all bring to the table in terms of their leadership and just understanding of the offense. So it's going to be fun, man, watching them in year 2, because we're past a lot of, well, how do we do this and what is this? We're way past that. They are very much ahead of schedule compared to last year.
Yeah, with the tall wide receivers, I mean tight ends. I think you could do anything you want with these wide receivers.
No, absolutely. It's just a matter of getting out, man, in practice and proving it out. To me, that's where the work is being put in.
I mean, you do have one really tall wide receiver in Samson Nakua.
Yep. Yes, sir.
Um,
Yep.
and sometimes you just got to mix and match and figure out your mismatches on defense and let these guys go nuts.
No question. And that's week to week. That's week to week. And that's what's fun about this.
Delvin Hardaway 6 foot, Xavier Lewis 6 foot, and then you got Nakua 6 foot and Bailey 6 foot, and everyone else is 5'11". You do have a little guy though, kind of reminds me of like a Brian Westbrook. It's like 5'7" with Isaiah Honey.
Yes. He did a great job last year. Very football smart guy. He came in late and really got going quickly, and that was impressive. So I like what Isaiah brings to the table. That's a deep room, man, and I'm hoping we can keep as many as we can. We always discuss with those guys position flexibility, being great on special teams. So that's the goal, man. The goal is to be able to for them to be multiple in what they do, so they can create opportunities for themselves.
And even once you get these other two, if they turn out, the two rookies, Turner and Grimes, they
Yeah,
look like they could be productive years in their senior year too.
yeah, absolutely.
So our wide receiver core should be pretty deep, right?
Very much so.
Now, has anything changed? Can you run 5 wide and everything else still? Has any of the rules changed as far as what you guys can
Nah,
do?
fortunately, the rules haven't, and that makes it easier. Nothing's changed in terms of that. At the end of the day, man, like to me, the most important part of it is just taking the talent that you have and then just putting a sound philosophy on the field. Now, you mentioned 5 wides, but let's not forget we got tight ends and we got great running backs.
I
And
was getting there next.
and you got to be multiple in what you do. So that offensive line, man, is going to be one of the most important pieces for us. And I feel real good about the O-line coach that we have in Coach Martin and what he's going to do in that room, bringing some of his wisdom to those guys. And I'm excited about that.
So before I jump into running backs real quick, how was the Bill Walsh internship?
Man, it was awesome. I've done 3. One of them turned into a year-long stint with the Browns. And so I've always learned something new in each of those experiences, built some great relationships with some coaches in each journey that I had, going all the way back to when I was with the Colts, building great rapport with Gene Huey, who was a longtime running back coach with the Colts, then going to the Browns, building a great relationship with Kirby Wilson and Brian Braswell, and Al Saunders. Man, that was a great experience. So that opened up some other doors for me, and then having the chance to listen to Gruden every day out there in Oakland before they became the Vegas Raiders, that was cool, man. So I can't say anything bad about any of those experiences. It allowed me to grow in the profession.
Speaking of so you and Kirby Wilson both got the coach Josh Jacobs, huh?
Man, let me tell you, I was Curb's guy. I was in the room with him. Whatever he needed me to do, I did it. And most of the time it was listening, taking notes, watching him do his great work with those running backs. And when Josh came in as a rookie, that was Curb's assignment, was to get this guy ready. And man, it was awesome every day watching how Curb brought Josh along with Alex Engel. Alex Engel was the fullback. Josh was the halfback. And man, he had a plan. He had a plan in place. And those guys played as rookies. And man, I'm telling you, I attribute a lot of their success to how he prepared them, and it was cool to watch that.
Do you feel you have that kind of backfield right now with London and Groshek and Garrett and Gary? And
Yeah, I
then
do.
would you
I
say
really,
still like the same size as Ingood? Ingood?
yeah. So, yeah, he's a true fullback, and we will use him. And so when I think of Madre and Garrett, they've been through this already. They've been through the worst parts of it, and I think that's only going to prepare them more to help lead the offense because they understand the details as well.
I
So
think it's a 1-2 punch for sure.
say it again.
I think it's a heck of a 1-2 punch.
No question. And they listen, for them, they know what their assignment is. Nothing's changed for them. They know what it is. They just know it now in better detail.
That'd be exciting. So that was pretty much all my questions, but I do want to hear about your Fourth and Inches book because obviously I didn't read it yet, and I'm probably gonna download it here soon.
All right. Good deal. So no, so I man, from my years of coaching, sometimes you just want to talk about what your journey is like as a coach. I think a lot of guys, man, spend time in this profession looking at the next guy. And in turn, they're looking at that next opportunity, wherever it can come from. But sometimes, man, we don't understand people's journeys. And sometimes when we look at another guy and what he went through, and hey, how did he get that job? And the reason I bring that up is because I see it all the time. I listen to guys that I know that have, fought slowly through the profession and up the ranks. But then they listen and watch some other guy that's half their age or whatever, and they see him getting access to an opportunity. And the most stressful thing for the guy is he's asking, how did he do it? Not understanding what his whole journey was. And not understanding that sometimes, man, all of our walks are different. Our purpose might be one particular thing, but the way we get to places is different. And we can't spend so much time, man, looking at the next man and comparing our journey. It's different, period.
Right.
Whatever you've been through, you had your experiences to prepare you for something. You may not even know it yet. But believe me, when you get to it, you will. And so when I wrote the book, I wrote really about, man, my journey. I've been coaching for 30 years. And, I started at the lowest level of the game, which is okay. As a 23-year-old straight out of 20. Go say it again.
Did you start in Pee Wee or was
Yeah.
high school? Or?
Yeah, that's and I mentioned that earlier. Man, I started Pop Warner. I think 11 to 12-year-olds.
Okay, that's okay. I thought Pop Warner was like in between high school and college.
Nah. So I did that simultaneously coaching high school football. So those were my first two experiences in one season. I'd leave one place and go to the other. And it was easy. It wasn't that hard. Because Pop Warner always was later in the evening. So I had my high school experience. I was doing IT work. That was my background, computer science and math. And my passion was always to coach. So yeah, I started from the root level, but I value that experience. There's no meteoric rise. I believe, man, sometimes when God says you're ready, he moves you to that next opportunity. And then sometimes you get denied for whatever reason, but the whole time he has a plan. And so I wrote about my journey, going from those early levels to coaching pro ball and what that was like, and being that guy that was willing to do what was necessary in terms of using the skills, the technology skills I had, doing QC work, and then getting more access to being the assistant quarterback coach with the Browns at that time. And it's because somebody saw a need that they had that they brought me in, and I was able to take my technology skills and help them. And in turn, they help me become a pro coach, breaking down film, preparing for opponents. Listen, we all got to start somewhere. And so before I ever became a coordinator, you know, I was a guy working through those lower levels, but still a coach. I speak at clinics every year, Glacier clinics in particular. And I never call coaches high school coaches or Pop Warner coaches. They're coaches. You're just coaching at that level, but you're still a coach. You put the commitment in, the time, and everything else to prepare somebody to play this game. And so, we all have these different experiences, whether it's to move up to be a pro coach one day, or if it's just to be a great youth level coach to make sure that those kids that you're coaching are ready when they get to the high school level. Doesn't matter, man. We all have a purpose and a mission. And so I just talk about mine and what that was like. And that's what Fourth and Inches is all about. It's just the journey, man. And I wanted to share that story because, yeah, it was unique. Went through some things during that season with the Browns, and required a lot of focus for me to just keep my head level. And I talk about it in the book.
You must have been one heck of a coach. To have, you had Kinder drafted. I guess he was starting quarterback in Cleveland at the time. I mean, Cleveland's gone through such a rare
They have
quarterback. And Kinzer also followed you out to Oakland. I almost said Las Vegas, but you weren't there yet.
No, so Deshaun Kaiser was the guy when I was in Cleveland.
Right. Wasn't he the backup whenever you were in Oakland too?
No, he wasn't there. I think he came, he came after I did. I don't know how long he stayed. You're absolutely right though. So he was I didn't know if the plan was to start him, but before the season started, he ended up being the guy for us. And man, that was a heck of an adjustment for him. We had Kevin Hogan there. Kevin was awesome, man. We had a guy we signed to a big contract and ended up letting him go, and his name just slips me right. Osweiler, Brock. Brock was there. And he was supposed to be the guy starting going into the season, but coach had different plans, And that's the thing about this profession, man. No matter what level you are, things change. And when they change, be ready to make adjustments. I mean, that is just the life of it. I think a lot of times, man, it's never in how you it's just really how you handle all that change. That to me is like the most important part. How do you handle those adjustments? That's what separates you as a coach and separates you as a player. How do you make adjustments? That's what you get paid for, to be quite honest.
Learn on the fly kind of thing, right?
Yeah, but if you train very well, it's easier to make adjustments. And I think that's the biggest difference from year one to year two in the USFL. Having time to put foundational stuff in place.
A lot of returning players, so that should be a well foundation. The only thing different is the quarterback carousel right now with our team.
Yep, exactly. And I feel really good about that, man. Like I said, with where those guys are, and what they conveyed in the offseason. So now it's just a matter of just executing it. And I feel really good about that because we spent that time, and that time wasn't available last year.
So I'm just curious, like, have any of your guys had gone to any camps or anything to, get better in the groove?
Yeah. So what I've noticed in talking to all these guys, they all have some type of trainer or someone that they go to, and they share that with me. And we had a couple that were in NFL camps this past season, or prior to the season. So between the two, yeah, they definitely they've been around and had some exposure.
I think Trey Walker didn't he get drafted by the Commanders?
Trey was with Buffalo. I don't know if he was with the Commanders, but if you got to get on paper, then I'll go with what you said.
I think he signed. I thought. Don't quote me, but I think I saw something that he went to the Commanders
Okay, I got you.
for a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited. Hopefully, like I said, you get over to a couple games and like maybe say hi in real life instead of on the
Man,
Zoom.
come on. You got my info now. So once you tell me you're coming, I can look for you. So I would definitely tell you, man, and encourage you to come on out.
Have you ever been to Tom Benson Stadium?
No, but I've seen it so much. Listen, when I was with the Browns, there were a couple of trips that I took where I was passing the stadium, and I can't remember where I was going, but I could see it from the road, and that was it. Never been there, but I'm excited. It's beautiful.
You can look in that right corner of the end zone type, almost.
That's cool. Yeah, I'm excited about that, man. I know it's a great place.
So, how good do you feel for Joe Thomas?
Man, he's an awesome dude. He's an awesome dude. Yeah. I have had a chance to meet spend some time with him when I was with the Browns. And man, you talk about an athletic guy. I mean, and nimble for a man that big. And I've seen many a different linemen. Some guys just have hard hands, but he's athletic and knows how to move. So yeah, it was cool watching him.
6 sacks through his whole career.
Man, and listen, a nice guy.
Super nice. I completely will back that statement up all the way. I met him a couple times through the year. I used to work at his field. So.
Yeah, no doubt.
Very nice. So you gonna take your family on the tour of the Hall of Fame?
Yeah, why not? Absolutely, because my wife's never seen it. So, man, once we get there and get settled, probably before camp starts, that'll be my next thing. Yeah, I would definitely say yes to that.
Are you able to take the wife with you, or does she have to stay back in Virginia?
Nah, she with me. She's with me.
I wasn't sure if they let you bring a significant other or not.
Nah, that's not an issue. Wasn't an issue last year either.
So you said all the kids are grown up, so you don't have to worry about schools or anything.
So when I mean grown up, I mean they have their own families. Like they're raising kids that they're all done with college. One lives in Maryland. He's a teacher in DC, and then the rest of them live in Texas. One's a nurse, one's a chef, and one is in fashion consulting. And oldest son, he builds rigs, like not oil rigs, but tractor trailers. So everybody's doing well, man. They're raising kids.
So hopefully, they got to drive through Canton and game day, and he gets a stop, right?
Yeah, well, he builds them. It'd be cool if he could come up here and do that. But yeah, man, the plan is to have him up for a game.
It's awesome, man. That's awesome. Well, Coach, I covered all my bases.
Okay.
I just wanted to get to know you a little bit, let the fans get to know you a little bit, hear what you thought about the team. I'm pretty sure I covered everything, except for the lineman issue. But they seem to be all right.
Nah, man, I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm excited. We're ready to go, and like I said, all the talking is done. This is not a complex game, man. It's just about applying rules and going with it. Everybody has their different aspect on how to win games, and at the end of the day, man, once we come off this chalkboard, which is what the whole offseason has been about, being on a whiteboard. They don't use chalkboards anymore. Most people don't. But once we get off that board, and we these pads are going to do the talking, and it's only going to be about adjustments after next week. That's it. Adjustments day to day, and evaluating who the best 50 players are, so we can start to get through the season.
Looking forward to it. When does camp starts? Pretty soon, right?
Yes. If I'm correct, I think it's at the end of next week, but don't quote me on that. End of next week or the beginning of the following week. Yep.
Now, are you renting a house or are you like staying in a hotel for the whole thing?
staying in the hotel, same as last year, because the league takes care of us, man. So that's one thing I don't have to worry about because they take care of all of that. I just try to keep it simple, man. Honestly,
Keep it simple.
Yep, just want to do a job, do a great job, and make sure guys leave with a great experience. You know what I mean? And for them, honestly, it's winning a championship. And for a lot of these guys, it's being recognized by an NFL team. That's their goals. So I'm focused on what their goals are.
We're back to the second fold, so we're ready to go.
There you go. Yep.
I mean, you know, I do have the purple. I do have my thoughts on that whole thing. I can't wait. Just curious, you know when the jersey release is going to be?
Oh, man, I wish I knew because I'm going to be in the line with you ordering mine for my grandkids. So,
as you see, I'm ready to get the new colors.
Yeah, man, I don't blame you. Listen, but the cool thing is you can hold that. That's some true memorabilia. You got it before the color change. Then when you get the color change, they're gonna look back at that and say, "Oh man, that's pretty cool. I like what is that?" And you can say that was the original Maulers colors.
I have my thoughts on that. If you want to hear them real quick, I could tell you.
Man, please go ahead and share it.
So Mr. DeBartolo Sr. owned the Maulers back in the 83 season, right?
Okay. All right.
Son owned the Niners.
Wow.
So there is no way that Andy DeBartolo Sr. was going to give the Pittsburgh Steelers or the Pittsburgh Maulers the black and gold colors with his son chasing the Steelers for Super Bowls.
I got you. That's funny. Hey, what colors, man? And he must have dreamed about those colors or was mad. It's like, yeah, I got the colors for you.
Where the colors came from, I could see if they were like, because the Bartolos grew up in Youngstown, so I could have seen if we were red and white.
Yeah,
there might have been already red and white taken because of the Generals and the Stallions.
Right.
So I don't know where this color scheme came from, but that's just my own personal opinion. My other personal opinion is Miles Tannenbaum. He owned the Stars, right?
Okay.
And he grew up in Queens, New York. He grew up a Giants fan.
Okay.
So he definitely did not like the Eagles. So if you look at their colors, it was orange for Washington, red for the Phoenix Cardinals because they were in that division, and then the star for the Cowboys.
Okay.
And no Eagle colors were given into the uniform, the green or the silver.
I got you.
And there was no blue and gray because he was not going to put anything New York in that uniform because of where it was located.
I got you. We'll go with what your theory is then.
That's just my own theory. I don't have anything for the other one because the Patriots were like a blue and remember the Patriots originally were Portland, Maine.
Yeah. And
so their colors were blue and white and they were pretty close to the Patriots. Yeah. I think the guy that owned them originally played for the Patriots for a season or two.
I got you.
And that's why they're not up in Boston anymore because they couldn't afford to practice at Foxborough Stadium where it was July. So yeah, I mean it's neat to look back at the history of these jerseys and I wish it was talked about more, but it's not. So
yeah, it is interesting.
But I'm glad we are back to the black and gold that we should have been from the beginning.
Right. Yeah, it's gonna be cool, man. I'm looking forward to seeing those helmets in person.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to see them all. Ace of the USFL Network put together some schemes. And he's always like texting me, and he always goes, "Hope one of these is close," because I've been drawing for a long time.
Wow.
With the black and gold, I think they're just gonna go black on the outside, and yellow down the middle. But it'd be cool if they went with a numbered black. Then for the away jerseys, went yellow, the yellow numbers and the black.
Yeah, I haven't been given any info on that, but we're about to find out.
If you did, I would just give him my honest opinion.
Nah, I'm with you. That's gonna be cool though. I'm quite sure they're gonna have it laid out pretty good.
Yeah, I'm excited. Even the Memphis Showboat jersey should be pretty neat too.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, we're gonna find out, man.
Well, Coach, how do people get a hold of you? If you want to give it away, it's up to you.
Oh yeah. So they can definitely catch me on Twitter. With my coaching handle there. That is at Tomlinson Coach. Yeah, at Tomlinson Coach. So that's probably the easiest way to catch me. And hey, just be prepared, man. We about to get started.
Oh, what? Do you still keep in touch with Kirby?
Definitely. Yep.
He seemed like a good guy. I never got to meet him, but he seemed like a good dude.
Yeah, awesome guy, man. So yeah, I do stay in touch with him.
Good. Well, hey, obviously I don't have my screen name up there anymore because I had to change cameras. I am not A.
Hey, but you made it. You made it work. We got through it. So that was awesome, man.
So I thank you, Coach. Maybe we could do this before kickoff, the regular season, and we can come back and maybe get some questions answered.
Absolutely, man. I'm all in. Just let me know.
I will. Maybe we can bring back a couple teammates and have a nice little round table.
That'll work. Just let me know, and I'll be prepared.
I will. Sounds good, my man. And if you want to stick around afterwards, we can BS for a minute or two. If not, I thank you. I'm very grateful you came on.
Definitely.
So, hey, everybody, have a good night. Thanks for watching, and we will talk to you later.